Okay, so we started on the front suspension system. Obviously, as you can see, I've already made an attempt. So the main lower arm is out. Yeah, that was a bit of a pig to do. I ended up having to get that cut off in the end. It just, when it sits in there, obviously the bolt goes through and quite conveniently sits against this surface. Where is that bolt? I've chucked it somewhere. It'll be around somewhere. But there is supposed to be an Allen socket at the bottom of that ball, the top of that ball joint. And you're supposed to be able to hold that and then obviously unwind the nut. Yeah, that didn't happen. it was a bit of a pig, to say the least. But persevered, got through it. Did start off with a saw, but it was just taking too long, so I ended up having to buy a reciprocating saw with like the world's smallest blade. But literally 10 minutes after that, managed to actually ping that bolt off. And ball joint dropped to the ground, so all good. Obviously it's the style where you can actually bolt it onto the lower arm, so when we go for renewal we'll do exactly the same. We'll get the ball joint and a new lower arm. You could buy these individually, or you could buy them, as a kit, I believe, already bolted to the lower arm. So that's probably the way I'm going to go. So the only thing left to do is you've got to do that arm there. The gator is perished, and lo and behold, yep, that nut's solid. Again, we've got an Allen key there, which I've put in, and there's, yep, you guessed it, rounded. What we'll probably do is I'm going to apply a little bit of heat to this, see if I can get a different style Allen key in there just to hold it. Hopefully enough that I can actually loosen that bolt off, and then hopefully that should ping out. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Worst case, I just cut the goddamn thing off, because it needs replacing anyway. Anti-roll bar arm, it's probably seen better days. So when the subframe does actually get dropped down, I'm going to basically replace obviously that anti-roll bar as well. So most of the bolts have been pre-soaked. Spent last weekend going through quite a few of them, obviously, so I've got access to, let me just put this to the right side, there we go. So I've got access to one of the subframe bolts there. There's another one at the back. That's all been cleaned up, ready to be released at some point. Giving those a bit of a dousing as well, because they're the bolts that hold the steering rack in place. I'm not taking that out, so the steering rack's going to stay there. So what I'll probably need to do is find a little bit of some rope, pass it down through the top of the engine, wrap it around the steering rack, and then hopefully hold that in situ. And yeah, we should be good to go. We shouldn't need to touch anything with the engine, because obviously the engine's mounted to the frame above. The subframe doesn't actually contain that engine, which is good. I do need to take this off, because at some point that exhaust downpipe, that'll be coming off. You see further down there, just zoom in on this, there we go. It does still have the original second part of the cap. So my plan at the moment is to take it off from where you see that clamp. So all the way along, this flexi bit had it, and go into the downpipe area, just in there somewhere. Get those undone and replace that as a oneer, and I think I should be okay. At the moment the rear box seems to be okay. I mean, it's got the usual sort of marks that that's got, but it does seem to be in relatively good condition. So yeah, sorry I didn't give you the video of me battling through this, but as you can appreciate, I've got very little storage space, or movement space as I say. So at times I just want to try and get on with the job, but at the moment I seem to be going quite well. I was in two minds whether to drop all this down as a wanna, but because I needed that ball joint out, I needed to cut it out. The actual lower arm was in the way, so I thought, oh, sod it. But they come out pretty well. I gave them quite a lot of soaking. There's no heat or anything applied to those bolts, so there's the bolts there. So they're not in too bad a condition. So I may either reuse these because they look pretty decent, to be fair. Failing that, if I can find out what the part number's from, I'm all open to putting new parts on it. But I think, to be fair, they are in a relatively good condition. I think these have not long been changed. See what you think. Drop me a comment in the box below. Driver side's out. Just got that lower track rod end to sort out. Once that's off, then we can then start on the other side. What I'll try and do is, if I get a bit of space, a bit of time, I'll set up my camera and I'll do a video of obviously taking that side apart. I may do like a fast forward sort of thing, so you actually get it coming off in a relatively quick sort of quick time rather than real time. But hopefully let's give you a bit of an idea what I'm about to do. So once that's done, it's basically just a new rebuild. The calipers, yeah, they have seen better days. I could go all out and refurbish them, clean them up and stuff like that, repair them, but I think for me, because I've put new ones on the rear, I'm going to buy new calipers for the front as well. So front calipers, discs, ABS sensors I've already got. We do need to change the dust shield because that has seen better days, most definitely. So I said once they're off, I'll give them a bit of a clean up. At the moment, looking at the springs, yeah, they do look a bit crap, don't they? So we'll probably change those out. Might as well. It's in here doing nothing else, so you know. Obviously, just to give you an insight, quite fortunate that when I took the cover off, there's no actual damage or any rot on that sort of bulkhead area, which is usually the case. I already pre-treated it last summer when I first got the car, cleaned it all out, and obviously because it's not been driven since, you know, it's all the new wiring indicator put in last year. That's sat there now. That little blue thing is a temporary fix for the washer hoses, because we found that was perished as well when we took the cover off. But it seems to be doing right at the moment, so I'll probably keep it as is. Obviously we've got the side panel off here, which is going to give me access to change this belt. And as you can see, there's no leaks from that sump either, to be fair. There's a little bit of wet bit here is when I was spraying stuff the other day to try and loosen off bolts, and then just gave it a once over. Alternator's seen probably better days, but it charges, it works. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. So we'll probably go with getting the usual changes on these. I do want to do the timing belt, water pump, even though it's been done 5 or 6 years ago. I have got paperwork for it. I want to put a new bit on, just so for peace of mind more than anything else. So I just moved you over to the other side. Obviously this is what we've got to contend with. All that's got to come off. I'll take this side off as well, just have a look, because I do want to have a look at the starter motor. It sticks every now and again, so I might just pull that, give it a bit of a service, put it back in. Here's, I'll start dismantling all this stuff, pull that out, get all these bolts soaked, ready for me to tackle and dismantle. But overall, it's not a bad car, to be fair. I've seen a lot worse, but it's just a quick idea as to what's been going on. Obviously we're tools abundant at the moment. One thing I had noticed is these multi-spline sockets are useless. They are pants. So I'm going to sort of use these ones. They're a lot better. and they grab the bolts a lot better as well. So, looks like our subframe's arrived. So we'll take a look at this, open this up, see what we have. Okay. Seems to be all wrapped, so we'll get that out of there, get this bad boy open. And that is one brand new front subframe. Awesome. Okay, here we are again then, in the final throes of taking this off. So if you can see in there, I've got just a little bit of baler twine string. It's wrapped around the steering mechanism. That's actually unbolted from the subframe now, so that's quite loose. But obviously I don't want it to drop down too much and damage anything else. So that's suspended by a bit of string, and then at the top, I'll show you later, basically I've just put a piece of wood between, it lies on part of the engine block and the outer wing, so it just gives it a bit of stability. Last couple of bolts to do then. Yep, we've had a second bolt that's sheared, but not an issue. The other one is loose, it's just got to work out. This subframe is getting binned anyway, so I'm not too bothered at this stage that that's sheared in the subframe, so I'll just get a new set of bolts. These two are undone, so two 60mm bolts, they're both loose, so that's ready to come out. The main subframe bolts are loose, we've actually dropped it down 1/4 inch, so we know they're all good, and none of them has sheared, which is good news. So the only bit I've got to do now is just where, you can see it, just try and get the lens, there we go. So where the exhaust bracket bolts into that clamp, obviously I don't want to be fighting trying to pull those out. So I'm going to undo these two bolts here that I've just soaked. They're 13mm. They're being cleaned, so we shouldn't have too much issues with that. Again, apologies if I don't actually show you the sequence, but it is literally just two bolts taken off. I just don't have the space to try and set cameras up, and lack of cameras also. So let me get on with this and I'll show you before and after. There we go from there. Okay, so they're removed, all nice and free. And it's just a case now of doing these last four. Obviously they're 21mm. And learning from my mistakes, I've gone and bought myself a decent set of sockets, because the other one decided to break. So I've got some decent impact sockets, and I'll use the 21 on that one just to free these off. Not bad actually, I think it was about 20 quid estimate for this set when I was in, so pretty good. Okay, and what's left now is the front arm. And I believe this engine will move a little bit. Move too much. That's the first one coming out. And a bit of luck. There we go. It's just locked ever so slightly forward. There we go. Okay, so that's those two out. A bit of luck then, we should be able to sort of just lower this down. That's sort of doing what I want it to do. Oh. Could be then. There we go. Let's see how we get out this time then. There we are. Okay, I'm going to put these back into where they came because it gives me a good idea where things sit. Now looking at that exhaust, you can see, yeah, that's proper blown in there. So, as luck would have it, now this is off, I'll be able to get to the bolts on that and remove that front part of the exhaust system now, which includes the factory cap, which is like the smallest thing in the world. Right, so I've got a little bit of manipulation now just to try and get the arm off. Oh, to have better tools, it would be great. And there's the offending stud, so we're going to try and remove. But yeah, that's okay. Awesome. So there we go. One subframe removed. The offending bolt has snapped. There. So there we go. On tired looking subframe and this anti-roll bar. I mean, I just had to go at this a second ago. Yeah, I think those rubbers are gone, in all honesty. So I was going to try and keep this, but they're too far gone, so looks like I'll be ordering a new one of those as well. Not much we can see underneath at the moment. I haven't got the light on. There we go. So, enough, and out of the way. Such a load of space. It's amazing. So yeah, good news is that exhaust I was talking about does actually split down there, which is good. And obviously that bit is broken off its bracket anyway. and it is the original, so it's probably done more than enough over the years. So we'll get that changed. Just try and get this to sit properly. That's pretty much naffed at the end, and they've been soaked. So the idea is basically we'll try and get that off while we've got the room. Get this exhaust taken off. Okay. Right, I'm going to go do a little bit of online shopping. See if I can find this downpipe. Some replacement bolts. I need to figure out how to get see if I can try and undo this stud that's been left in. In all honesty, you could probably get a bracket worst case, but I'll have a go at trying to remove the stud first, and then we'll go from there. So do a bit of shopping now, and then when I get back we can make a start on removing this exhaust bit. Happy days. So obviously you see that the new one's all over there ready to go, and we'll get an anti-roll bar as well. We'll get one of those ordered, so all new, nice pucker stuff. Okay, catch you later.